One of the most accurate indicators of a business's health is the cash flow statement. Like its name suggests, the cash flow statement is a summary of all the money that flows in and out of a business over a period of time, typically 1 month's time. Cash goes out for expenses and comes in with revenues. When you have more money coming into your business than going out, you are cash flow positive. When you have more money leaving the business than coming in, you are cash flow negative. For a business to be successful, it must have enough cash at all times to pay its expenses and make new purchases that will help the business succeed. The cash flow statement determines whether or not a business has enough cash to carry out these actions. Remember, cash is the amount of money you actually have in your bank account. If you can't use it right now to pay your bills, it's not cash. The best way to monitor cash flow is to prepare a cash flow statement. There are 3 elements of cash flow you'll need to calculate. Operating activities. These are your day-to-day activities like wages, overhead costs, your raw materials or supplies, and of course, the sales of your products or services. Investing activities, such as the purchase or sale of property or equipment, or any investment in financial products, like stocks. Financing activities. Cash flow from financing is the cash that is usually used to fund the company. This includes debt, equity, and dividends. Let's see the cash flow statement in action in a real-world situation. You can download a blank cash flow statement from the description below to follow along, or populate with your own company's information. Take our fictional company, the Craft Brew Brewing Company. They started the month with $100,000 in their account. For operating activities, let's consider 3 sources of revenues and expenses that would be most typical. Revenue 1 is the beer they sell to bars and restaurants. Revenue 2 is the brewery merchandise they sell on their e-commerce website, such as apparel and homeware. The third revenue stream comes from homebrew ingredient kits. Now the expenses. Expense number 1 is workers' salaries. Expense number 2 is ingredients. Expense 3 is bottles, labeling, and packaging. If you pay any income taxes or accumulate any interest during the month, you should record this too. Once we do all our additions and subtractions, we're left with our net profit from operating activities of $180,000. If there are any exceptional items from operating activities, you can put them after the net profit line and before the next section. For example, the brewery received $10,000 for a local enterprise grant. It's currently sitting in their account, so it should go on the statement. Add it all up, the total cash from operating activities is $190,000. Now let's look at the investing activities. The brewery had to buy some equipment this month but sold off some outdated machinery. The purchase of a new fermentation tank cost $33,500, while a batch of old wooden barrels were sold for $3,500. With everything added up, the total cash amount from investing activities was $30,000 this month. The last section of the statement relates to cash from financing activities. This month, the brewery decided to pay down $6,000 of existing debt on a loan. Next, we add up the summaries of all 3 sections to get our cash amount for the end of the month. All that's left to do now is add the change in cash amount from the beginning cash to determine the ending cash amount. We add these numbers because the Craft Brew Brewery made more money than they spent. If you spent more money than you made, then you would subtract the change in cash from the beginning cash amount. For the Craft Brew Brewing Company, they ended the month with $254,000 in their bank account. They are cash flow positive because there is more money coming in than going out. When it comes to calculating your cash flow, you'll have a choice of using 2 methods to prepare your statement: the direct method or the indirect method. There are pros and cons to both, so click on the link in the description below to learn more and decide which one is right for you. We hope you enjoyed our cash flow need to know video. Don't forget to download a blank cash flow statement from the description below. To check out more accounting videos like this, subscribe to the Sage YouTube channel.